Good morning, dear Stitchers. It's Judy Whitman with JBW Designs, and I want to welcome you back to my FlossTube channel. Let's see, we're on, trying to think which, it's number 79, and it is August 31st, so, oh no, no it's not. I'm losing my mind. It's July 31st. There is no such thing as August 31st, but you'll excuse me, right? So I just feel like summer is rushing by, and the first thing I need to do before I continue to make errors is to welcome you and thank you for writing and sending emails and letters and comments and questions. I've decided that the thing that I love about FlossTube is that it gives us a chance to communicate with other people who love the same things that we do. And I think that's why it's so much fun while we're stitching to just watch as many people as we can. So thank you once again. I am so pleased with my subscribers keep growing. I'm over, I think, 6,400 right now. And I just thank you. I can't thank you enough. So let's get started today, and I hope you have something fun to stitch on. And my theme today is my second part of Christmas in July, so we'll get going here, and I'll have all kinds of notes and things to tell you about. So the first thing I want to do is to respond to a request that I had, several requests actually that I had in the last video. One was I needed some round wooden ornaments that are made by Hobby Lobby because I had 4 new designs that are part of my new releases, and I was trying to do the finishing on them, and I couldn't find those wooden ornaments. I had 2, but I needed 2 more. So wouldn't you know it, within an hour, 3 different people responded to me and said, I've got them. Do you want me to send them? Which was so sweet. So thank you, Merritt Crawford, because she was just right on the ball and put them in the mail the next day. And I was able to get going on my finishing project. And then I also asked my viewers, and I've mentioned this before, I have this old sampler, I'm going to show it to you in a minute, that I bought at an estate sale, and it's very tiny. What I love about it, it's from England, and so I just said to people, if you know anything, just write. Well, I tell you what, our viewers, those of us who do floss tubes, are so lucky because several people wrote to tell me things that they live nearby, so I want to talk to you about that in a minute. And so let's start with the little sampler. We'll start with that one first. So the sampler let me move things here, and I've shown, it's very sweet. I haven't charted it yet. It's going to be coming out probably next year. But it's just a sweet little red marking sampler. As I mentioned before, it's by Hannah Adams, 1822. It is from the Farringdon Subscription School. And so someone had written to me earlier to say she knew something about it. So then 3 more people wrote. So let me tell you about their responses. So first of all, Teresa with, let me keep thinking here, Jersey Girl Stitch Company, wrote and said, my husband is a librarian and he loves doing research like this. So she sent me this wonderful link to what's called the Farringdon School Trust, and that was fabulous to go on to their website and start to research. Actually, I haven't done a lot on my own yet, but I'm getting so many good hints. And then this was even more remarkable. I got an email from Marianne, who lives in Denmark. Now, first of all, the fact that there are 2 things. The fact that somebody's in the UK or Denmark and watching my videos, Australia, etc., is kind of amazing to me, and I'm so grateful because it just opens up our whole world. So Marianne wrote the nicest note, and she also took me to a page where I could research UK schools, And the interesting part of her note is that she lived in a town close to Farringdon in the 1980s and 90s, so my ears pricked up at the name of the school when you first mentioned it. And so she said the school started as a subscription school, although the date of your sampler is not a certainty, as there are no references to the school being a subscription school until 1872. And she also mentioned, as there is no age on the sampler, it will be difficult to find Hannah and her history, which is true. Sometimes I try to estimate the girls' age because often they were between 10 and 12 years old. So sometimes I'll start with searches like that. But anyhow, thank you to all of you who wrote and are so helpful. And then I want to talk about some of the questions and the comments I got. Margaret, who is from the UK, wrote to tell me that she had just found my channel. And she was so cute. She was so happy about finding me. She said she usually watches Flosstubers from the UK, that she said, I'm going to go back and watch all of your videos. Maybe not all of them, but first of all, I'm amazed. I don't know that I would do that myself, but I thought that was such a sweet comment. And then I got another note from Deb, and I thought this was a great idea. And it had to do with my finishing hints for my ornaments. And I'm going to revisit that topic later in my channel today. But she mentioned, I talked about a comic board and how that's what I use as the base. Here, I'll just show you an ornament to mount my little ornaments on. Well, she does something, and why didn't I think of this? This is why I love hearing from you. She does, instead of one layer of comic board, she does 2 layers of comic board to give it more weight. And I thought, what a great idea, because I've mentioned before, using mat board is tricky because it has to be cut with a knife. But comic board can be cut with scissors. So if you need more weight to your ornaments, take Deb's suggestion. So thank you. It certainly gives the ornaments more stability. And then I also got a note from Kathy, who said she's quite intimidated by finishing. And I kind of understand what that's like, because if you haven't done it before, you think, I don't think I can do it. I really think that you can, and you have to kind of tell yourself, I'm going to give this a try. We're not doing, we're not building a bridge or doing brain surgery or anything technical like that. We're just going to try to finish our little ornament. And the other thing I always try to tell people is these ornaments are going to be hanging on a tree. No one's going to know if things are a little crooked or a little off. So I would start, if I was going to start a simple one, I'd start with a square, because it's easy to measure the size of that piece. It's easy to cut it out. When you put the backing on, it's easy to miter the corners. And I will review this again, but it's just really making layers. And so you're going to start and you're going to layer your first piece of fabric over your comic board and maybe some batting, and then you're going to cut a second piece and put your backing on it, and then it's just sewing them together and adding a trim. So Kathy, I'm going to really encourage you to give it a try, and thank you for writing, because I want to keep you all moving forward. Let's see, I had another question, and this was from Mia, and I'm happy to give her an answer on this. In the last video, I showed a gingerbread house, and that someone had done in the beginning of my video, and I'm happy to report, and I said I'm pretty sure it's in one of my Ornament Collection booklets. It is, in fact. So the gingerbread house is in the Christmas Ornament 4 booklet, so that might help me a little bit. And then my last comment that I want to address is from Autumn, and she won a prize. I had called her name last time, but her email to me didn't go through. And, you know, we never know why, if it's going where it's going, who knows. But I always put my email and my contact information below my videos. If you look at the title of the video, it will say more, and if you click on the word more, that takes you to the description box, which I try to put in as much information as I can. So Autumn, try again. If you have to, send me a letter, and once I get the letter, I'll send you the gift that you want. So my first topic today has to do with, keep moving things here, pictures that people have posted of my finished designs. And it's always so satisfying. Oops, I forgot to pull one of the books. That's okay. I'll just tell you about it. So the first one that I got, and these, some of them are from Instagram and some of them are from my friends of JBW Designs Facebook page. So this is from Patricia, and I've talked to you about this wooden joy, I don't know, prop or whatever you want to call it, that is from Hobby Lobby. It's perfect for finishing rounds, and she finished, I love this, she stitched the Christmas in the round with white on red. I think it's just striking. I love everything about what you did, Patricia. So I've shown this before, but this is what the booklet looks like. And this plaque right here, I bought several years ago at Hobby Lobby, and it had something else in the center, but you can always cover that with your design. So, you know, keep looking. If you're looking for those kinds of accessories, Hobby Lobby often brings them back year after year. So this is the second finish I got, and I thought this was so neat. This is from Karen, and she finished my stitching in the round. She said it was the first design of mine that she'd ever stitched, and I thought she did such a lovely job of finishing. I think it might be on a box, it's hard to tell, but thank you, Karen. And this is what the stitching in the round booklet looks like. And then the third design I want to show you is from Margaret. I think this is my new UK pen pal, and Margaret stitched the alphabet pumpkins, which is a very old pattern. I'll show it to you in a minute. And if you can study this, she finished it in a little tin that has scalloped edges. And I thought that was just a perfect finish. And this is what the alphabet pumpkin booklet looks like. As I mentioned, it's very old. The pattern, I still have the pattern in stock. So if it's something that you might be interested in for your fall stitching. Let's see, my next picture that came was another one of the round designs. I don't think I showed this last time. I'm trying to make sure I don't repeat things. So this is from Susan, and I love her trim on this. I think she used like a scalloped, almost like a scalloped trim. I thought that was just striking around the edge. So what did she stitch? She stitched around Britain. And she said she really enjoyed picking out all the little motifs that are in that design. So that's the Around Britain design. And then this next one is really interesting. So I'm going to show you the picture first. And you'll see why I thought when I first saw it that there might be a mistake. And this has happened before. Not very often, but some people will post a picture of something that is not my design at all, and it just appears on my friend's page. So in this case, I want to tell you what she did. This is from Becky, and it turns out, I mean, this sampler that she stitched is just remarkable. But this is a compilation. I'm going to have to go back and read her note again. Maybe I'll have to tell you next time where did all this come from. But here's the interesting part. She took elements from, let me get this up here, from my antique vase sampler, which maybe I'll remember to show you the antique of this next time. It's one of my favorites. So I love the striped urn, And you can see there are all these urns along the side here. Well, let me show you what she did. So she took elements from many samplers. So she used the stripe urn here and here, and then she used two of the other urns that are in that sampler right there and there. And that was so interesting to me because, you know, I was ready to think, oh, this doesn't belong, and indeed it fit beautifully. So while I was pulling out all these things, I remembered, and this again is an older design. This is French Country Reindeer, which has been out for quite a while. It might be in one of the ornament books. I'll have to answer that question next time. But anyhow, this one has always been popular. This is old too. I mean, really old. But it's just a fun, simple design. And I remembered seeing some fabulous finishes. So I found this one, and they just left off the word reindeer. But look at how cute that looks, mounted on a basket with the bow and the bells. I just thought that was striking. So, you know, I love to give you finishing ideas. That's one of the reasons I do this video, is to inspire you. So here's another piece that came from Sheila. She's been posting quite a few lately. She did the Over the River sing-a-song stocking. And thank you, Sheila. And I have a story, because I have all those stockings over here, to tell you about this series. And then the last thing that I just actually spotted this morning on Instagram, and this is the book I forgot to pull, is that this is from Sue. Here, let me fold this back here. It's, I know, a very tiny picture, but she just finished the Be Merry design as a drum. And her finish on this is just lovely. So that is one of my Christmas books, and I forgot to pull the title of it. So I hope that that's inspiring for you to see some of those things. And I do have one other request for you this time. So somebody wrote to me not that long ago, and I've forgotten whether it was in an email or how it came about, and said, did you know that you have some, quote, friends on your friends page who are really not legitimate? And I'm not sure that's the term she used, but and this has happened before, where they will post like a ad for some product that isn't even related to mine. So my request is, if you see something like that, report it to me, report it to Instagram or to Facebook, because we want to make sure that those are taken down. So thank you for your help. So now, what have I been doing lately? Getting ready for actually two markets. So in the, let's see, August 23rd through the 27th is our wholesale needlework market. And I'll describe this to you. I know you've heard about it before probably, but for some who might not know about it. So this is an online show. So we have two main wholesale markets a year. Our Nashville show is in March, and that's in person. And then our August show is an online show. It's called Needlework Marketplace. And it works like a charm. I mean, it's actually wonderful. So I can sit here in my office in my pajamas for 4 days and just take orders, talk to shop owners who might have a moment to chat, and then fill orders. It's a very, very busy 4 days. So if I'm not printing out orders or chatting, I'm trying to keep up with them. This is only for shop owners, and so it's an interesting concept. So an online show means that we set up like a virtual booth, and in that booth I will be posting all of the designs that I've released this year. So I have new designs coming, and then I have 6 or 7 that were released in Nashville. And so all of those I post in the booth. And then the shop owners can actually enter our booth and pick, and I write descriptions, their prices, etc. and they can actually enter the booth and place an order for what they want to be sent to them. And it works out quite well, actually. We have quite a few overseas shops that order, and the reason that works so well is that Cam and Bobby, who own Stitching Bits and Bobs in Plainwell, which is only about half an hour from me, are the organizers of this market. And last August, they said to all of us who are exhibitors, so it's fabric dyers and fibers and all kinds of accessories, along with cross-stitch designers, send your orders that are from overseas to us, and we will consolidate the orders, put them in one box, so that the shop overseas only has to pay one shipping cost. And this was a huge help to our overseas shops, and so it's kind of exciting actually when we get orders from the Netherlands or Australia or actually even Tasmania. It's really, really fun. So then I have been working very hard to get so it's a long process. I have to get the models charted, stitched, finished, sent to the graphic designer who does the layout of the books, and then to the printer. So my graphic designer who lives locally here, she has working on all the layouts. I hope to get them to the printers next week because it's a tight timeline to get everything ready in time. So if not in this video, but in the next video I'm going to show all of my new releases. And so if you see anything that you like, just contact a shop owner. It doesn't have to be local shop owner, just a shop owner that you're familiar with, and they can place an order. And they like knowing ahead of time what you want. So let's see, where do I go next with this topic? So I have been photographing. I'm sorry I'm not moving to models, but I'll get to that real soon. I've been photographing all of my new models, and that's kind of fun. So it's July, and I'm pulling out all of my Christmas decorations, wreaths and swags and ornaments and bottle trees and little cardboard houses. But what I like to do with the new designs is I like to put them in a vignette so that they look really interesting when you see the model. So last week I was finishing all week long and then photographing the models in these little vignettes. So one of the things that I want to share with you, I'll probably have to spin this a little bit. So I'm going to give you a sneak peek. And I mentioned this before in an earlier video, but this is the only design I'm going to show you, or booklet, only because I've talked about it before. But I am releasing all 15 ornaments from the Sing-a-Song series, and they are going to be, and this is just a rough copy. We haven't sent it to the printer yet, but they are all going to be featured in one booklet. And so it's going to be very cost effective, rather than buying 15 booklets or even 5, to have all of the designs in one. And so this is the beginning of the cover, and then on the back page it will show all 15 of the designs, and then on the inside of the book, I can't print that out because the chart's on that page, you will see a photo of each stocking, and then on the other side of the page there will be a good size chart, a color code, and stitching instructions. So I'm very excited about it. It's going to be a large booklet. It's going to be 8.5 by 11, and I won't know the cost yet until I get quotes from my printers, but I'm very excited to offer this. So you've seen many of the sing-a-song stockings before, but next time when I do the video, I'll show them to you up close to see what you like. So that's the first part of my Christmas in July. I'm going to take a quick sip of tea. It's very hot here today, so no hot tea. So let's see. I pulled just 5 or 6 Christmas models that I thought you might be interested in. And then I pulled some more ornaments that I didn't share with you in the last video. So let's just start right here. This is an older design too. This is French Country Santa. And I'm sorry I'm no longer able to get these wooden paddles, but we'll have to find somebody to make those for us, won't we? This is stitched over 1 on a 28 count, but I want to show you, I also, fold this back, I also stitched the same design over 2 and made it into a little bag, and I love how this turned out. I mean, I could see, little ornaments or candy canes poking out of the top of that, or small gifts. So, and when I do my French country designs, I think you know that they're made up of many motifs that would be appropriate for the design that I am doing. So this has Christmas trees in it, and a sleigh, and a reindeer, and stockings, and a dove. And it's quite tricky to get them all in there, but that's what I like to do, right? So that's French Country Santa. All right, here's another Christmas design that came out a few years ago, and this is called French Christmas Tags 2, and I'll have to pull out the one. I probably won't do a Christmas video models again probably till, I don't know, November, because I know you're going to be moving on to other things than Christmas in July. So this has 2 designs in it, and with each one, let me show you what they look like. And these would be fairly simple to do. I don't have these boards anymore. I've ordered more of them. They come from France. We'll see if they arrive. But think about finishing this just as a simple ornament. It's almost kind of like a house shape, and put a little tie at the top. So there's the little robin design. I also worked the same design over 1 and made a scissor fob out of it. This design is worked over 2 on a 32 count. And then the second design in that booklet is the dove. And this did I work both of these? No. This is on, I'm trying to think of the name of the fabric. It'll come to me. It has a, oh gosh, what do I want to say? It has a sparkle to it. I might have to tell you that next time, because it's not coming to me. It will come to me. So I stitched this little dove on that sparkle fabric, and then I also did a little scissor fob and over 1 on 28. Incidentally, I'm working a new model for something else right now on a 28 count fabric over 1, and it's an even weave rather than a linen. And I'll tell you what, that is much easier to work with. And then I also did one of my new models, instead of on 28 over 1, I did it on 25. And I thought that might be a hint for some of you who are kind of afraid to start the over 1s. So just an idea for you. So the next design I want to share with you today is called O'er the Fields We Go, and this came out just a couple years ago. And I have 2 models, I love to do multiples of this design. So this board right here is actually a box. I found that, it doesn't tell me the year, it's been maybe 2 years ago. Let's look at the booklet. Yeah, 2 years ago. So this had something else on it, but I often, you can picture this, walk around the store and look for products that I think I can use for finishing, and you have to kind of ignore what's on the main part of it, but what can I do with it? I can paint it, which is what I did. I've even forgotten what color it was, and then I can use fabric, of course, and all kinds of trims to mount my piece. So what I liked about this is you're able to put it flat on a tabletop, so you don't have to hang it on the wall. So it makes a nice accessory. So this model, let's see, was worked on a 36 count. Let's see if I can find the fabric for you. It's right here. On a 36 Edinburgh linen. This is what the booklet looks like. There's a little glare there. That's the over 1 model. Here's a picture of the over 2 model, and then I also stitched it in blue. So I'm going to show you the over 1 model also. And so I have an idea for you this time too. Whoops, upside down. So this is the same design, worked on a 28 count red fabric with white floss, just a single ply of white floss. I love the look of white on red. It is so striking. And my finisher did just an amazing job. And let's go back and look at this again, because that's kind of what sets designs off. So I chose a red fabric that coordinated with the red that I used in the design, and I just covered a board with the red fabric and then glued that to the board, and then I did a separate board for the design itself, and then I put rickrack around all the edges. It just really makes an attractive piece. So this one was professionally finished, and she used the same kind of ideas. You know, find ribbons and trims and rickracks and buttons, and it can really make a design look so striking. So that's O'er the Fields We Go. That one just came out 2 years ago. Then I'm going to show you another red on white because I just love the look of these. There are actually 3 designs in this series that I did. Old Christmas Tree, Joy Noel. Oh, this is always a test, isn't it? What's the third one? Tidings of Joy. It came to me. So this is what Old Christmas Tree looks like. And again, this is stitched on a red 28 count fabric. Again, my finisher just did a beautiful job. One of the things that we did with this pillow is I took one of the trees out of the design and used it as a corner motif in the pillow, and you could do that same thing if you did the pillow over 2. This is that same design worked in reverse with red on a white fabric, and that's the over 2 design, and I think that was worked on a 32. So I thought you'd enjoy seeing that one, and then I have 2 more to show you, and here's the book. So sometimes it's fun to see, just as I've shown you in the previous ones, what models look like stitched not only over 2 but over 1, but on different fabrics. So this is called Nordic Reindeer, and this is a very unique fabric. I don't know if you're going to be able to see any of the background. Let me tell you what it's called. It's a 32 count Belfast, and it's called Sparkle, and it's in gray and white. And so the fabric actually, here I can show you on the edges, actually has a background printed with, you can see it up here. You can see little marks of it throughout the design, but I just liked the fabric. I thought it was an interesting kind of fabric to work on, and that's made by Swigert. So here's the design worked over 2 on a 32 Belfast, and then here is the same design worked over 1, and this is a navy blue, and it was done on a 28 count linen. And again, my finisher just did a fabulous job of adding trims and ribbons and rickrack and trying to find a variety. And I always tell people, if you're looking for ideas, just study the front of the booklet. You know, you'll have just what you need there if you want to reproduce that, or have a finisher reproduce it for you. So my last segment today on Christmas in July is going to be showing you a few more ornaments that I did not show you last time. So I just pulled out a few more, and as you know, I'll show you real quickly. There are 5 booklets in the Christmas Ornament Collection. Each one has 20 designs in it. And then on the back of the booklets, there's always a tree that shows what the designs look like hanging there. So let's just pull up a couple for you to see. If you, when I show you the back of it, I put the number. So if there's an ornament that you see that you like, I'm going to tell you what booklet it's from. So this is a heart made up of trees, and this is from Ornament Collection V. And I love the fabric that my finisher chose to finish the back of it with. And once again, I would, after you've stitched this design, I would lay it down flat on your printer, just make a black and white or color copy of it, and use that as the template so that you know the shape to cut out of your board and your fabric. So that's one. Here is another one. This is from book number 1. It's a tiny little mitten. It looks very Scandinavian to me and would be really quick to stitch. I mean, I think you could stitch that in one night. Let's see, I pulled up this one before, the little ice skates. That comes from book 3. And I just use twisted cording around the edges. Often I'll put a little bow and a pin to cover where those cordings join at the base. Okay, here's another one, and that too is done on the sparkly fabric. This little tree is also made up of Christmas trees, and it's from book number 2, and pom-pom trim was used for the trim. So here's another one that uses pom-pom trim. This is a little snowman that falls in my French country category. This was originally in a booklet, I think it was called Winter Collection, but I kind of like him in blue, but of course do him in any color. And again, this has been finished with a little pom-pom trim and a bow up at the top. So that's book number 4. Let's see, this tiny little heart is from book number 1. And in the beginning, a lot of these ornaments that were in these collections, I had published quite a while ago. And so I started out just compiling designs that were no longer in print to put in these collection booklets. But they became so popular, I ended up designing many new ones so that I could complete each booklet with 20 ornaments. So this little wreath has a tiny cardinal on it. You could absolutely add the date or the name of the person that you're giving this to, and I did not mark down which book this is from. So let me do a quick search. I think it's 5. Yes. Okay. I need to mark the back of that. So this little ornament with the cardinal is from book number 5. Here's another one, a tree made up of trees. I obviously like this theme. This is from book number 3. And again, you could just make a template of it so you can cut your triangle. And as I say, ask questions. I'm always happy to answer them. This was from an old book that's no longer in print. This is from book number 5, the most recent one, and it's just a little church with trees. It is stitched over 1 on 28, as all of these are, but I always encourage you to not be afraid of you do not have to do them that small. If you do them over 32, they're still a wonderful ornament size. And the last design I'm going to show you today is the Joy ornament, and this is from book number 2. So I hope you enjoyed that little review of ornaments, etc. So I have a couple more topics to cover, and then we'll be all set. Let's see, you know what, I have something that I've set to the side here. I'm going to take a minute before I move on to my next topic. So I have mentioned Jersey Girl Stitch Company several times. And Teresa and her daughter create the most beautiful pins. And when I was going through my collection the other day, I thought, oh, I'm going to pull this out. I'm going to make sure I put this in my notes below. I know you can photograph that. It's Jersey Girl Stitch Co, C-O, at gmail.com. And she's also on Instagram as Jersey Girl Stitch Co. So I'm going to show you some samples of their pins. So these, whoops, let me hold them up here. These are Quaker flowers, and these would be beautiful used in drums. They would be beautiful used in, you know, my pillows that I've shown to you. So that's one of them. Here is another one, and these were called Lena's pins. I seem to be, oh dear, I'm going to crack myself up here. I seem to be having trouble showing these to you. All right, let's try again. So this went with a kit that I had called Lena's Pin Pillow, but wouldn't these be gorgeous on something like that with the red? So let's see if I can do a better job with this one. All right, this is a set of pins that go with my Eliza's sewing smalls. And I showed you last week the little pin cushion, and these were made to go with the pin cushion. And then the last set that I pulled out today to share with you is called, excuse me, Lots of Love. And again, those would look beautiful in your Christmas, excuse me, in your Christmas pillows or anything else that you've created. So 1 second, please. All right, let's move on. So now I want to talk to you about my shop of the week. And this time I chose a shop that I have not been to, but oh, am I dying to go to this one. It's called the Country Sampler. And if you haven't been following her, I would urge you to, she's in Spring Green, Wisconsin. The owner is Jean. You can see the address here. It's 133 East Jefferson Street. Her shop looks so amazing. It has the most beautiful arrangements and aesthetic of a combination actually of cross stitch and quilting. Her phone number is there. I just went on to check. Her website is not, it's under construction, but she does have an online store. So I would encourage you to just look up her shop. I am dying to go there someday, so that's on my wish list of things to do. So the next thing I want to talk to you about is our prize winners. So each week I go through the comments, I pick out with a random number generator, 3 names, and if you hear your name announced, you can select any of the books that I've discussed today, and I will send them to you as a thank you. So my excuse me, my 3 names today are Edith McClan, Heather Ellis, and Susan Learn, Learn. I don't know that was just her address in the comment section. So ladies, please write to me, send me an email. Is the best way to reach me. So some life updates. I told you, I have one more show to tell you about. So, and this you might be interested in because it's open to the public. You know what, next time I'll try to remember to make a big sign about this. So there is a show in St. Louis. It's actually, let me backtrack. It's in St. Charles, Missouri, outside of St. Louis, and it's called Needlework Galleria. It's been there for quite a few years. It's sponsored by Kathy of Inspired Needle, who has a shop in Florida. And she sets up a show that is just like our Nashville show, but it's for individuals. So anyone can attend this show. And I have not been in a couple years. So my things have been there, but I haven't been there with a display. So I am going to be there this year. The show is from September 12th through the 14th, which is a Thursday through a Saturday. There are classes. Many people come in on Wednesday because there are classes that are offered Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. They have early bird shopping on Thursday. I think it's like 4 to 8 o'clock, and that's very popular. Each exhibitor has their own room, Now, it's not as big as Nashville, of course, but it is so much fun. So if you can picture an Embassy Suites hotel, and you don't have to stay there, you can stay at another hotel nearby and just come to the show. Some people come in for the day, but you're going to be walking around, and each room is going to be a separate exhibitor. If you go to their website, I meant to look that up for you, Needlework Galleria, I'll put it in the notes below. They have, you can buy your tickets ahead of time, you can sign up for classes, you can see the list of exhibitors, it will give you all the information, the hours of the show, etc. So I'm hoping that I will get to meet some of my floss tube people who I haven't met before at that show. Let's see. So now life updates. Let's see. We went to see the baby last week. We hadn't seen our little great-granddaughter in 3 weeks, and we were having withdrawal. So my husband and I called up our daughter-in-law and said, "What day are you babysitting?" So we just went over for the day and held her, and it was so sweet. She's 7 months old, and we're loving having a baby in our family again. This weekend, we're hosting a party, and we have out-of-town guests coming in. Our whole family will be there. We haven't seen our whole family in a month, so it's going to be wonderful to be together again. I did cut flowers for you from my garden, and now I'm going to tell you how to contact me. So it's judy@jbwdesigns.com is my email. My website, which I've often talked to you about, is kind of out of date, but it still has older patterns on it. It's jbwdesigns.com. My Instagram is judy.whitman. My floss tube, of course, you know. And then my friends of JBW Designs, to join that group, which is on Facebook, you just need to answer a few simple questions. And then I like to end my videos with a quotation. And my latest theme has been gratitude, because I'm so grateful for all of you. Gratitude takes 3 forms: a feeling in the heart, an expression in words, and giving in return. And you give so much to me. So thank you, everyone. And I will see you hopefully in just a few weeks. And I will be showing all of my new models in that video. Bye-bye.